Hello traders, good day to you all. This is Christopher Glen. Today is the 29th of May 2014 and this is the day market review for the current market status. At the beginning we'll go over several announcements. First of all, we had a vacation day in Switzerland and generally in France and Germany, meaning that the euro itself was pretty on the side. Beside that, we had several announcements, important announcements regarding the US dollar. Unemployment claims came out to be a better indication than the forecast, but we can see that the GDP report was worse than the expectation, lower than the expectation. Now we had another pending home sales over here, 0.4. Again, another bad announcement regarding the US dollar, and we can see that there's a correlation between the announcement and the charts. The dollar indeed is losing strength in the markets, and we will analyze the dollar index today. We will see what is the potential regarding the current weakness that we're observing, and when we're expecting the market to diverse and begin expressing a stronger dollar in the markets, continue the same pattern that we saw forming since the beginning of the week. Tomorrow, I've already mentioned since the beginning of this week that tomorrow I'm expecting Friday this week to form a slow and not consistent movement, nothing interesting, not too much that we can see over here beside the Canadian dollar announcement, the GDP over here. But let's go to the charts. Let's see what is our expectation for the current week until the end of the week. So first of all, let's look at the dollar index. Dollar index, if we're looking at the daily chart, I've been talking about this formation for a while. You know what, let's go to further indication, a weekly chart. On the weekly chart, I've mentioned from this point that my expectation is that the dollar should lose strength in the market because we've received an impulse movement climbing higher and we've received a corrective pattern dropping lower. Now at the moment I mentioned that my expectation is that the dollar index should drop down to 78. That's exactly the thing that we've received over here, and from this point, the 78 level, I'm expecting this chart to climb higher. Moving forward to a daily chart, we can see that for the last 2 or 3 weeks the dollar gained strength in the market. I've mentioned this level over here as a very important target for crossing. Once we'll cross that, the potential is to climb higher. We had a very nice impulse movement and then a deviation, a corrective pattern, a choppy overlapping movement over here, and then we've crossed this area, and right now we're bouncing on it. We're basically trying to measure, the market is trying to test the levels over here, figure out whether it's a stronger level, and then we can proceed higher or fall down, cross that back down again as we did over here several times in the past. So it's a very difficult area. Once we'll receive an additional confirmation for a stronger dollar in the market, we may continue higher, but at the moment it seems like we will bounce backward and forward around the levels over here until the end of the week. At least next week we will receive an additional confirmation regarding a stronger or weaker dollar in the market, and at the moment I see no potential for the dollar to significantly lose strength or gain strength in the market until we'll receive an additional confirmation. I remind you, next week Friday we've got the non-farm payroll announcement that usually delivers a lot of liquidity and defines the continuance of movement for the next month. So let's stay alert regarding this chart, the dollar index. I'd like to go over the dollar versus the Russian ruble. We've talked about this chart so many times, and I've mentioned how many opportunities we had. And I remind you, over here I said that the Russian ruble should fall down to 34 rate. We've received this downtrend clean movement until the 34 level, and from the 34 level we've received a continuance of an uptrend. Seems like an impulse movement going lower to an hourly chart. We can even count, let me add the elite wave indicator. Hourly chart. So we can see that we've received a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, meaning a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. And right now we've got completion of the fifth wave. We might see a downtrend movement till this rate, the 34.4 level, and then we'll continue higher. That in my expectation from this chart further into the weekend. At the moment, I wouldn't join this movement yet. Well, once I'll see a good entry point for an uptrend movement on this chart, I will announce that potential. By the way, the euro versus Russian ruble is showing us approximately the same structure as the dollar versus Russian ruble. We can see that we've again received an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave corrective pattern. We've reached approximately the same structure as we did in front of the dollar, and right now the potential is higher. At the moment, the Russian ruble in front of the euro is not expressing the same weakness as the dollar, not showing a bit of weakness over here. So we can learn a lot from the potential regarding the Russian ruble with no concern regarding the US dollar. I'd like to close our session with a good potential trade that we've got, long-term trades that we've got over here. Basically, analyzing several frontiers of the market, I can see a potential for a weaker Canadian dollar in the markets. Looking at the Canadian dollar Swiss franc, we can see that we've received again an A wave, a B wave, and a C wave fluctuating. I'm waiting for the SAR indicator to form a higher digit and higher dot from this chart so that we'll be able to continue lower, going lower to this specific pattern for our chart. We can see that again we've completed the 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5, fifth wave of an uptrend movement. There's therefore the potential right now is to complete this C structure, and to continue lower. That's a great potential over here. Now, I'm not only talking about the Canadian dollar Swiss franc as stronger or weaker Canadian dollar in the markets, I'm also looking at the euro versus the Canadian dollar, and we can see approximately the same structure. An A wave, a B wave, and a C wave. Therefore, the potential is no question about that. A weaker Canadian dollar in the market, and we've got two good trades for long-term investments. The Swiss franc in front of the Canadian dollar, downtrend movement, and euro versus the Canadian dollar, an uptrend movement toward the stronger dollar, stronger euro and a weaker Canadian dollar. I'd like to wish you all the best with your trades. Have a pleasant day, and bye bye.